Yes, welcome back to another video, guys. That's right, today I am back to talk about Oppenheimer. Yesterday I went to do, what have people been calling it? Open Barbie or Barbenheimer? I forget what people have been calling it. I went and watched Oppenheimer in the morning. Went to get some grub, went to TGI's, had a lovely meal, had a good hour and a half break in the middle, and then I went to watch Barbie. Do you know what? I had such a fun day. But this video is going to be specifically on Oppenheimer. And then I'll have a video uploading tomorrow where I talk about Barbie. I thought I'd do them in this order because this is the order I saw them in. But anyway, let's crack on. Oppenheimer. This is Christopher Nolan's brand new movie. And it is a biopic on Oppenheimer himself. This film will see him go through the early stage of his life when he came on to create the nuclear bomb and the aftermath of what came after the creation of his big weapon, basically. I mean, it's a horrible thing that he created, to be honest, and it really is the cause of so many problems in the world. And it's a really hard subject, and it's a subject which sometimes I come on YouTube and I feel a bit unqualified, almost, to talk about certain films, and this is one of them. Obviously, it's a very touchy subject. We're talking about nuclear weapons here. It's a biopic of how they were created, and of course, straight after it was created, what happened in Japan was truly devastating. It's a horrible, horrible piece of history. And, you know, nuclear weapons are still the biggest threat in the world today. With everything that's going on in Russia and Ukraine at the minute, you know, it's a very alarming threat which will just never go away. And this film makes that evidently clear. And I think that when you walk away from this film, those scenes that you see near the end of the film, I'm not going to spoil anything, but you will walk away from this film because of some scenes at the end. And you're going to feel depressed. You're going to feel down. And the film is not only there to tell you Oppenheimer's story, but it is there to make you aware also of how terrible these weapons are, how awful it is that they exist, and how scary it is that they're actually out there. And the film does a brilliant job at putting that across. But let's talk about the film itself. Let's get away from that side of things, because you don't need me to talk about that. There's enough videos out there on the internet about how scary the threat of nuclear weapons are. The film itself, I wasn't a huge fan of Tenet. I didn't mind it, but I thought it was Nolan. He was so far up his own backside, it was unbelievable. And I thought the film was actually quite messy. And while I don't mind Tenet, I think it's far from his best. And I have a lot of issues with it. Here, this is a massive step up. This is a massive improvement, and it is a much better movie. There is no doubt in my mind. I will say my only complaint with this movie now, because I have one complaint, but it's very, very small. The sound mixing. But do we expect anything less from Nolan? I mean, The Dark Knight Rises and Tenet have some absolutely atrocious sound mixing. And once again, here, it's not as bad because a lot of this film is very focused on its, interior scenes and a lot of build up to the explosions with the nuke and stuff. And it really puts the score to a front that I don't think the sound mixing, the poor sound mixing is as prominent or as obvious in this as it was other films. There's just a few scenes where they're outside and it's like, they turn the wind volume up, and it's like, why have you done that? I'm struggling to hear the actors. I don't mind it when they turn the explosion noises up. It's like, it's a big explosion. It makes sense for that to be really loud. But when they're just outside having a conversation, they turn the wind volume up. It's like, why are you doing this, Nolan? Why do you always do this in all your movies? Anyway, that is literally my only complaint, and it is a very small one, and it is a very nitpicky one, because it isn't that prominent, like, whereas in Tenet, it was, whereas here it isn't. The film itself, the pacing is brilliant. There's so much going on in this film. There's so many characters, so many different scenes where it cuts back and forth through time again. We know what Nolan's like, jumping through time. But in this, he makes it so clear where we are in time, when things are happening. He makes it easy to follow. The editing is fantastic on that part. And I think his directing is brilliant. And as I say, the pacing was really well done. And I think throughout this film as well, the runtime is just perfect. I don't think it needed to be shorter. I don't think it needed to be longer. I think it was a perfect runtime for the film. But one of my favourite things about this movie is the score. The score is brilliant. There is so much tension throughout this movie from start to finish. There will be scenes where characters are just talking, and because of the fast-paced editing and the intensity of the score, you are on the edge of your seat through simple things like a conversation, and it is filmmaking done so masterfully. It is truly, truly brilliant. I guess I'll wrap up by saying the performances as well are absolutely incredible. If Cillian Murphy doesn't go up for Best Actor for this, then there's something truly wrong with the Academy. But I thought everyone was great in this. Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh were also standouts in this. I thought Matt Damon was also really good in this. But the whole cast was just fantastic. And there was so many big actors and great actors which just kept popping up for small scenes. It was really a lot of fun to watch. Oppenheimer, definitely a return to form for Nolan. It's my second or third favourite film from him now, to be honest, which I didn't think would be the case after Tenet. It's a huge step up from that. I think it is genuinely one of his best. At the minute, I've got Interstellar and Inception above it, but I think this might be his next best one. I think I've actually put this above The Dark Knight on my ranking at the minute. It's just such a masterfully crafted movie. Dealing with a very touchy subject, a very important, scary one. And it's a film which I would recommend to people to be in the mood for it. Don't come out of Barbie and watch this, because you're going to be riding that high of like, yeah, Barbie was so much fun. This is just going to, boom, bring you down. Do it the other way around. Do Oppenheimer first and then let Barbie cheer you up. Because at the end of this film, you are just going to be down in the dumps. But it's a great movie. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. So guys, go see it while it's in cinema. Go see it in IMAX as well, because the IMAX screen was incredible. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message. And as always, I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.